What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got a couple of quick and satisfying duels for you guys to check out. Looks like we got Master Rule 5 Sharks going to be taking on Photon Galaxy. Now, Sharks can make some incredibly crazy turn one boards. They're legitimate by today's standards, or pretty much any standards, especially if you're able to get the absurd board with 3 totally awesomes. I've seen it only like once or twice, but it definitely is going to win the game almost always. But if there's a deck that can play through this, I'm gonna say that Photon Galaxy is probably one of them. This deck with Afterglow Dragon, its OTK potential has kind of skyrocketed, so it's a deck you can't really take lightly. Anyways, let's see what type of turn one board our friend is going to be able to assemble. So Instant Fusion is always nice because it does give you that level 4 monster, and then when you have Lantern Shark and Cutter Shark, you're getting even more shark monsters from your deck. At that point, it's just, how many Bahamut Sharks can you summon, because those are going to get you your totally awesomes. Now, you generally will take your 2 Bahamut Sharks, maybe combine them into your number F0, because this does give you another negation. I guess it's kind of depending on how confident you feel, because these 3 negations are they're your entire board. Now, these cards obviously float your totally awesomes, can take your opponent's cards, and then they can give you cards back, but you do have to kind of be careful because this is all you're playing with. It would have been nice to maybe have a hand trap or one more extender so that you weren't left with this last little wind-up shark, because this could become, another totally awesome, and if you had the God Hand or something like that. But we'll see if Galaxy can end up breaking this board. I'm going to say Galaxy probably can because of the Photon Sanctuary. So first, Photon Sanctuary is going to be negated. That is an instant Galaxy Eye Soul Flare Dragon, so a lot of players don't feel comfortable letting that card resolve. They just want to make sure that they get it off the board. However, you can see that he does have a second copy, which is going to get negated as well. He's going to take both copies of Photon Sanctuary, and this is where I say that recovering those resources is nice. I don't agree with putting Toads back in your deck unless you're about to run out. I always think that you should put cards back in your hand, because those cards can be used for, other things that aren't just Toad, but whatever. He's going to use his F0, which is his 3rd negation, take his opponent's monster, and would you believe after all that, this deck is still going to be in a position to one-shot him. He's going to go for the Galaxy Wizard. This card is going to get him Expedition, if I'm not mistaken. And once he gets Expedition for Afterglow Dragon, why was I saying Afterflow? Once he gets Afterglow Dragon, this is where you start having to wonder, are you going to survive the turn? The card is just, it's utterly ridiculous, dude. When we get this card, it's going to be insane. He's going to go in to his Proton or his Prime Proton Dragon. He ends up attacking. At this point, obviously, you'll always use Afterglow's ability, and then its effect will kick in. It doubles the attack of your monster, and usually, if you have this guy specifically, and there are other Xyz monsters on the field, you can one-shot through kind of anything. Not to mention, you can still attack with other monsters. That's kind of the crazy thing. You get the double attack, and you can still attack with other monsters. It's actually kind of insane that you can do all of that with one monster. But you can see that he did end up getting the game in a pretty impressive fashion. I mean, playing through 3 negations and your opponent taking all your cards, still being able to one-shot them is quite impressive in my book. Next duel is going to be Time Thieves against Necroz in a matchup that, to be honest, should not be, I don't think that this should really be Time Thief favored. I like him playing or living life on the edge with the extravagance, because obviously Time Thieves have 2 extra deck monsters that are kind of imperative. Maybe Perpetua isn't as imperative, but if you banish all 3 of your Redoers, you're basically not playing a Yu-Gi-Oh deck at that point. Anyways, Necroz of Unicorn is going to turn off the Time Thief Redoer, which puts him in imminent danger in my opinion. He does have Effect Veiler for the Brio because it did try to bounce. However, and this is unfortunate, he simply couldn't get over a 2400 attack monster. How sad is that? I mean, I don't know if he used his normal summon or not, but I feel like at that point, and maybe you guys might disagree, I feel like you might even have to tribute summon for Phantasme and just crash into the Redoer to make sure that you're able to get this card off the field, because if he does that, he probably ends up winning here. He would still have the Unicorn and the Brio. Instead, his unicorn dies. He ends up getting a draw, and just like that, game's starting to snowball. Anyways, he will have his incantation hit with Ash Blossom. He says, no problem, I'll just go for Colossus and Brio, and I'll bring my copy back. The Brio is going to be hit on field with the Solemn Strike. He's going to tribute summon everything for Christia, but Christia is not able to take it down because he's simply just going to, I think he just dodged. So he's going to activate Extravagance, and now he draws, it's not really an out, but it's a pseudo out. So Time Thief hack allows him to start attacking directly, and obviously as long as he keeps getting monsters on Redoer, he can keep tagging out. Now if he gets a trap card, he can just spin Christia, but it is Necroz. The odds of Necroz having a trap that's not in permanence are low, so the odds of him getting a trap off his opponent's deck are insanely low. Anyways, his opponent's going to activate Extravagance. That will be met with Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Both players pretty much at a little bit of a stalemate here, but no, actually, he's one direct attack away from being able to close this game out, but now he's going to start attacking directly as well, and his opponent is on the back foot because as long as he keeps setting monsters, he will have to attack those face-down monsters as he's going to attack into the copy of Regulator right there, and I think he will eventually end up getting Flyback, gets a Necroz cycle off the top, so that's a free draw, and that's definitely really good. I think that this is about to be the breaking point of the duel. Yep, once he gets the Flyback, or once he activates the Flyback, he's able to put a trap on Redoer. He's able to spin the copy of the Archlord Christia, and I feel like that's going to be a wrap. I don't think he's going to have many more plays. The Ganir will be used, or that will be hit with Ghost Ogre and Effect Veiler. Oh my goodness. You don't usually see people use two hand traps on one monster, but there you go. And Time Thief is able to ultimately outlast the Necroz. Wouldn't you guys agree though that if he probably would have tributed, because we saw Phantasme do nothing the entire game, and when your opponent's playing Time Thieves, you have to just assume that they're probably not going to make a lot of link plays anyways, so the odds of you being able to get a high value out of this card are very low. Like, I feel like he should have just dropped this on him. Turn one, should have crashed with the Time Thief Redoer. He wouldn't have gotten the draw. Yeah, he would have probably, like, it wouldn't have been a great trade for him, but he also would have been able to keep his Brio and his Unicorn online, and I feel like that could have just kind of been the win condition at that point. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the short duels. If you did, give a video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.